Welcome to The Explainer. Today we are going to unpack one of the most fundamental teachings in Buddhism, a kind of blueprint that maps out the entire cycle of life, death, and rebirth. It doesn't just explain what happens, it gets right to the heart of why it happens. So, let me start with this question. Is your life already written in the stars, or are you the one holding the pen? You know, it's a question people have wrestled with for thousands of years, and Buddhism has this really powerful answer. It's both. You are, at this very moment, living out a destiny you already wrote, and at the same time, you're writing the one you're about to live. And the explanation for this is found in a 12-step chain called Dependent Origination. Now, don't think of this as some kind of abstract philosophy. It's way more practical than that. Think of it as a map of cause and effect, a map that shows exactly how our past shaped the person we are today, and how the things we're doing right now are literally building our future. Okay, so take a look at how this is laid out. It's broken down into past, present, and future. You see how the past created causes, which we then experience as effects in our present life. But here's the crucial part. Right in the middle of our present life, we switch gears and start creating a whole new set of causes. And those, in turn, determine what happens in the future. It's this amazing continuous cycle. So let's start at the very beginning of this whole chain. And interestingly enough, that beginning isn't in this life. We have to rewind back to the one before to look at the two big causes that set our current life into motion. The entire cycle, the whole thing, starts from one single root problem: ignorance. Now let's be clear, this isn't about not having a PhD or not knowing facts. It's a much deeper kind of blindness. It's not understanding this very process we're talking about. It's not seeing that our actions have real consequences that stretch across lifetimes. And it's this fundamental misunderstanding that causes us to act. And driven by this ignorance, we perform actions. You can think of these as the karmic seeds we're constantly planting with everything we do, say, and even think. And it's pretty simple, really. There are meritorious actions, good deeds, that lead to a happy, fortunate rebirth. And then there are demeritorious actions, harmful deeds, which, well, they lead to a much more painful one. And here's the kicker. Nothing is ever forgotten. There's no external judge keeping a scorecard. The witness to every single one of your actions is you. Your own mind. These karmic impressions get stored deep within what Buddhism calls our consciousness, just waiting for the right conditions to sprout. All right, so all those seeds that were planted in a past life, now it's time for them to blossom. This is the part of our life that's largely predetermined. This is us receiving our fate. You know, we all think of our birthday as the day we were born. But in this view, the true beginning of this life, your real birthday, happens about 10 months earlier. It's that moment of conception, when that karmic consciousness, carrying all the baggage and potential from a past life, latches on to a fertilized egg. That's the spark that starts it all. And this leads us to the next link in the chain, which is called name and form. It sounds a bit strange, but it's actually pretty simple. Form is our physical body, and name is our mind, our feelings, our thoughts, all the mental stuff. And the ancient texts describe this incredible process, these stages of development in the womb, as our past karma literally takes physical shape. We are watching it build a person from the ground up. This whole process of growing and developing finally culminates in the seventh link, feeling. For the first part of our lives, maybe up until we're about 15 years old, we are primarily in receiving mode. We just experience the world through our senses, as pleasant, painful, or neutral. This is our fate playing out. It's the harvest from all those seeds who planted a long, long time ago. But then, something changes. We hit a massive turning point. The chain reaction keeps going, but now we switch from just being a receiver of our past fate to becoming an active creator of our future one. And this big shift happens around adolescence, roughly age 15. This is when we develop the power of strong intention. And with that power comes a whole new level of responsibility. A powerful new force enters the chain, and it completely changes the game. And that powerful new force? It's called craving. This is that moment we all go through when we start to actively want things. We start pulling some experiences toward us because they feel good, and pushing others away because they don't. It's this explosion of desire and the drive to make our mark on the world. The texts use this really vivid analogy, calling adolescence the time for spring thoughts. And while physical desire is a huge part of this craving, it's about more than just that. It's about this deep, instinctual drive to exist, to get what we want, to become our own person. It's the birth of that I'll do it myself attitude. So here's the pivot. This intense craving naturally leads to the ninth link, which is clinging. That's when we don't just want something, we grasp onto it, we get attached. And then, driven by all that craving and clinging, we get to becoming, the 10th link. This is us actively making choices and shaping our identity. And with every choice, boom, we are planting a whole new field of karmic seeds that will decide exactly where our consciousness lands next. So, as you can see, the momentum from what we're doing right now, all our craving, clinging, and becoming, it has to go somewhere. It leads, without fail, to the final links, a future rebirth, which is then followed by aging and death. The cycle just keeps on turning, with our future being a direct reflection of the causes we're creating this very minute. So really, we are all living at this incredible intersection of time. We're the living, breathing result of everything our past self did. But at the very same time, we are the architects drawing up the blueprints for our future self. That, in a nutshell, is the principle of twofold causality. And this is so, so important. This framework isn't about being trapped by some fixed destiny. It's actually the complete opposite. It's empowering. It reveals that your present actions, what you do, what you say, what you think right now, are the most powerful forces shaping your entire existence. Once you really understand this chain, you've got the key. It shows you the very mechanics of your own life and basically hands you the tools to change your future. And that leaves us all with one final, pretty powerful question to think about.